Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, grim, and perilous master today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign, playing Cubicle 7's outstanding Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, 4th edition. And with me tonight are the stars of our ongoing campaign, Salt, Silver, and Sin. And I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today. Now, first up, we've got Sean.
Trouble.
Who is
I'm playing
muted?
Thognoth Barrickson, the dwarf Ironbreaker.
Very nice. Next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Katarina. She is a recently, field promotion to priest of Shalia.
Very nice. And last, but certainly not least, is Darren.
Yeah, Darren here. I'm playing Alwyn Coulson, who is a human outlaw, and he's got along with him his trusty family pet Astrid.
Very nice. So, guys, last session saw... I'm trying to think here. What did we... Yes, last session was the start of... the murder happened 2 sessions ago, right? And was revealed this session?
No. It happened last session.
It happened last session, okay.
We started off with the fight with the mutants.
Right, so let me bring you on over to our... Let's see, I think this is our cast of suspects. No, that's not it. It is right here. Is that right? Yes. So, what happened last time, guys?
Yeah, well, like I said, we started off with the combat with the mutants who attacked the caravan. That seemed to go probably too easy. It seemed that a few of them were frightened off or ran off. A couple of them were slain. I don't think anyone was particularly badly injured. There was a few injuries, but
In your party, I think Thognoth removed a mutant's hand at one point.
yeah. And then it was discovered during the attack, or just before the attack, just after the attack, we're not 100% sure, that Eramus, is it?
No, Erasmus.
Erasmus
Hager.
Erasmus was killed in the carriage. So at that point, we were discussing what we was going to do, and we were appointed the investigators, I guess, or the ones that were going to try and work it out as I guess the most neutral in the group.
Well, and Katarina and Sean's character, whose name I don't recall right now, Talther, were both technically representatives sent by their respective churches, and as such, with Erasmus Hager dead, who was the representative of the Church of Sigmar, it placed those two priests arguably as the nearest representatives of the Grand Duke.
Yeah, I think Katarina had managed to identify that it looked most likely to be some sort of deadly poison that had done it, because it was so quick, and there was virtually no signs of any sort of physical damage other than a very small sort of like pinprick.
Yeah.
Or very small incision.
Yeah.
Injury.
Electric count, not Grand Duke. I misspoke. Yes, that is correct. And then I believe you guys commenced your investigation while Brother Kremtza or Brother Raymer was going to begin a physical inspection of the vehicles and whatnot while you guys interviewed people. I think the people you have received information, or at least revelations from thus far, have included Greta Rosenau, and Arendt Strepstorp. What do you guys recall learning about those two?
Well, Greta was supposedly listening to music from... Who was the music player?
Matthias Netzen.
Matthias. And she said that she hid during the battle with Matthias. We did, I think, again, Katerina noticed that she was wearing a dagger, but we didn't think that was related. But she wore a dagger strapped to the inside of her leg, and she's quite heavily involved with Friedrich, but on a beneficial sort of capacity rather than a sort of emotional, is what we seem to think, that she's making the most of it rather than she's attracted to him. Particularly, she seemed to have quite a strong dislike to him, in fact. So that was Greta, I think. Oh, and she also did let... Oh, I think she was quite open with the information that Jacob is some sort of mutant, or has got some sort of mutation, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprisingly open, but she hates him, right? She.
Yeah.
I think she hates Freddy. I'm not sure if she,
Freddy.
Yeah.
Right.
How she feels about Jacob.
So that was Greta, I think. What else we got? Arton. He seemed to be troubled by something, but we didn't really get to the bottom of that.
This is a rent.
Rent. Yeah, sorry. I've got down here he was troubled.
Durenbach would do anything for money, right? That was one.
He was at the front.
I think he said Everett would do anything for money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Everett Setzingen.
And he did think Everett may be involved, as he was asked to move away from the coach during the attack.
Yeah. Aaron says he was directed to the far side of the caravan when the attack happened.
And thinks that Dorothy murdered her previous husband.
Yeah.
What we make of that? So that was him.
And I don't know if you guys are... That was the sort of the freely available information we had, and
the only other thing I've got is Matthias has researched both the families and didn't really have much to add, apart from he was hiding, and confirmed he was hiding.
Yeah, he did some research on them and seemed to, pass off what his, like, the extensive gossip as him having intimate knowledge, wherein it just really seems to be, it's all the information he gathered before he went in to be sure he didn't step on any toes, or at least that's what he says.
But he believes that there's people that don't want the families to be joined, so he's convinced that, there's enough people that don't want this wedding to go ahead. But he was terrified of being blamed for the whole incident, maybe because of his level of sort of social class.
It's worth noting, too, that the wedding is still, as of yet, a rumor that hasn't been confirmed by anyone.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right. So, okay. I think that brings us up to speed with what you guys learned last time for the first little bit of your investigation. Would you... I think we ended on a... What was the last thing he said? He said he would do anything for money. Let's do this. Let's kick off our session with a perception check from everyone. As is custom in RPGs.
Is that an average one, or?
Let's make it...
challenging?
Yeah, let's make it challenging, please.
Challenging.
Let's see what comes from this. And let me grab some dice. Okay.
His perception.
Oof. Thognoth.
Is it it's not an advanced skill, is it?
No, it's a regular skill.
It's under melee for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
Subsection. Like.
Just challenging, regular?
Just challenging. Yeah, please.
Oh. Nope. You see
Okay.
nothing.
All right. Unless anyone is spending fortune points, then we will pick up with you guys speaking to Errant. Have you any other questions for him? You can always go back to these witnesses at another point too.
I did want to ask one thing. I wanted to find out how is it Dorothy's husband was murdered previously? What was the cause of death, or did they ever get to the bottom of how
It was sickness, was it? Supposed to be, it was rumored to be sickness?
I think that's correct, yeah.
But did they get? Was it a
It
short
was
sickness? Was it? Did they sort of identify what the sickness was?
They say it was a sudden illness. And if you ask Errant about it, he says that there was an inquiry after his death, but from what I hear, it's a verdict that should not be trusted.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it in front of him, but I mean, that sounds suspiciously like it could have been poisoning of some description, which would give someone a little bit of a history with poisonings. Okay.
You know, there are members of Katarina's faith that do have a impressive alchemical knowledge, and that's typically used to try and cure ailments, but it certainly could be repurposed for doing ill as well. Any other questions for Errant?
Can't think of anything yet.
Okay. Then who would you like to speak to next?
Who have we not spoken to?
Most. Yeah, you've only spoken
Yeah, we only
thus far.
spoke to Errant and Everard
Yeah.
and the faceless ones.
If it helps.
What did Everett? I don't remember what Everett said.
You haven't
he
spoken to
say?
him privately yet. You spoke to them together.
Maybe we should
Okay.
speak to him
Yep.
next.
So I'll do this. I'll put a green dot next to the ones that you've spoken to at least once.
Nice.
That way it'll make things a little easier for you. All right, so leaving Errant and calling Everett over and aside, he is giving instructions to the Dernbach retinue of soldiers. And then he comes and joins you. He is... he bears a fearsome visage with a large scar that cuts across his upper lip to the right, pulling his otherwise easy smile into a perpetual sneer. He used to try and hide this with a thick mustache, but found it too valuable as a means of intimidation, and now is always found clean-shaven. He still has just a little bit of brown stubble on top of his head, but he keeps his hair cropped quite short. And you can see that he keeps his chainmail hauberk quite brightly polished as well. So when you call him aside, he says, "So you have you solved it then?" "Yep. I saw you speaking Errant."
So you think Errant did it?
Of course. What? He looks at each of you. You didn't know? The history he's got with the dead man.
No, enlighten us, please.
Well, I served with Aaron years ago on a mercenary campaign further south. 7 years ago. And during that campaign, Rasmus Ager was an agent. And during this campaign, Aaron and Erasmus had an argument. What got them into a bit of a fracas. It was so bad, I would think that Aaron would have killed that priest if the other soldiers hadn't pulled him off him. It's what got his career ended. That's why he's serving out here. I don't know what happened between them, and I don't know what the particulars were, and I didn't see him kill the priest, but I can tell you this: I only know one person with a personal grudge what would want to kill Erasmus Ager, and that's Aaron. He's looking at you. Well, I solved it for you. Ain't that worth some kind of reward?
You'll probably have to take that up with the electric count, with the Duke.
Will you be sure not to credit anyone else? Let them know I was the one that helped solve the murder.
But he beat a priest to death. That's what you were saying.
No, he would have beat Erasmus Ager, the dead man. 7 years ago, he had a disagreement with him, and Aaron would have beaten him to death with his bare hands had it not been for the other soldiers pulling him off of him.
Are you aware of there being any contact between these two in the meantime?
Well, I'm not. He gestures back at the Durnbach soldiers or the retinue. He says, I've got business, don't I? I was as surprised as any to see him among the Kreutzfelds. I say he's fallen on hard times, but I suppose that would be saying something about myself, wouldn't it?
Yeah, likely. Yeah.
But during the attack, didn't you send Aaron around the other side of the caravan?
Well, there was mutants that was going, attacking. We needed to have both sides protected. That was just smart.
We were told that this murder was carried out on this side, and I'll point to the side that he was on, because he stuck his head out the window just before he fell ill and
What, you think I did it?
That's not what I said. I said it's less likely that Aaron did it.
I can't say where he was. I can acknowledge, and I said he should be watching both sides. My attention was focused on them mutants, so. Nothing would stop him from sneaking around, coming in. I don't got no proof of that.
And beating him to death.
Well, he wasn't beaten to death, was he?
We're probably not at liberty to say, because that would give too much away. But that seems to be Aaron's MO, right? He beats. If you were guessing on how he killed the priest, he would have beat him to death to finish the fight he started 7 years ago.
I can't speak to him, but
I mean, he seems like you are men of battle and up in your face violence, right? That's how would you kill somebody?
How I kill someone? I face him.
You killed them with your weapons, right? When you killed them.
That's right.
You would have run him through or beat him up.
That's what I do.
The male fists, yeah. So you think Aaron would do the same,
That's
right?
me stock and trade. So yeah, that's what I do. And Aaron, I can't say. The man I knew 7 years ago, that's what he'd do. Direct he was. Still, always so foolish with ideas. Truth told, I'm surprised he's got it in him now. He did not seem the man I knew before.
You don't think so? Now you don't think he's the killer?
What I said is I don't know no one else what had personal beef, a personal disagreement and grudge against him.
I think it goes beyond a personal grudge. If you had a personal grudge with someone, you just call them out in the square and beat them up, right? Call their champions to fight each other.
Well, not all of us have got champions to fight one another, milady. Some of us must deal with things more personally and hands-on. No?
Yeah. So hands-on, right?
Yeah.
Throttle him or beat him up. Got it. But I mean, I feel like this. Honestly, the rivalry between these families, it'd go beyond a personal grudge. It'd be, we don't want. What do you feel about this impending marriage, joining of the families?
Marriage? He looks around, back and forth between you. Well, you have been asking questions, haven't you?
Well, that's our job.
Well, I could tell you, whatever plans there was, I'm a man what's paid to fight. And if there ain't fighting to be done, I ain't get paid. I don't want there to be no peace between these. These Durenbachs and Kreutzfelds are the same as any others to be found elsewhere in the Empire. But I got a good thing with the Durenbachs. And so long as now mine, I had nothing to do with Ager's death, but I certainly am not unhappy if this ends up with disagreements between the families. Keeps a man with me in my profession more necessary.
Well, I mean, they can all set you to hunting down mutants in the woods, right?
Oh, that will be a lot of fun too. Though I don't know whose lands they came from. They came from both sides.
Oh, that's curious.
And he's looking back at the rear of the caravan. He says, "You talked to that woman yet?" And he gestures it towards Greta.
Yes. What do you know about her?
I don't know, but her face, that's a face one will remember.
In a good way or a bad way?
And he looks at her, almost definitely a good way. I recognize her. Cannot place it. Would she tell you?
Well, if you remember, you should let us know. That could be pertinent to the case. Although you already decided, right? So.
Well, help me. Help me help you. What she say she was? What's her business here? It's not with her Durenbachs, I can tell you that. Is she here with one of them Kreutzfelds?
She's just hanging out with that Matthias Minstrel guy. You know, they have those guitar types. They have hangers on. Those
Oh, I've heard him play.
Mandolin types. Those mandolin types have hangers on.
With his talents, He certainly couldn't afford someone like her.
Well, maybe they're old friends. I mean, Alwyn and I are friends, and he sleeps on the street, so.
Curious how you treat your friends.
Well, he doesn't want to. Well, we always offer him accommodation in the temple, but
So you don't know where she's from?
No.
If you haven't figured that out, that's just something
Well,
you might...
You tell us. You tell us.
Well, am I doing all your job for you? I've already told you.
Sure. Make it easy for us.
I've already told you, milady. If you choose to ignore what's clear as your nose, it's your business. Just don't forget who told you when it comes out. That's the truth.
Okay.
Alwyn, Thognoth, you have any questions for him?
Not unless you can remember where he's seen her before, the Grail.
If putting aside your theories on our end, who most, other than the fighters, I guess you've already made that point, but who is most likely not to want these two families to get along, in your opinion?
Well, I would neither speak ill of my... I would not speak ill of my employers. Why don't you give us, Thognoth, a... So I don't think you guys have the funds for bribery.
That's true.
Nope.
Give us a charm.
Let me
check, please. Your legendary charm.
What would it? Can I roll to see if I know what it would cost? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if we're getting too high, I don't have. I have some funds.
Do you guys
I don't have?
How much silver do you have?
And I am cheap. I'm just going to put that out there too. But I have 5 silver, 8 brass.
5 silver, 8 brass. Okay.
And I'm saving up for.
Yeah. So I think let's just maybe put that idea to bed. Why don't you give us a charm check first? Yeah. And this will be, I think, this will be challenging.
Okay.
$12. That's fantastic. So yeah, he unless you want to spend fortune point to go, you know, like your 12% chance of success.
It's part of Thognoth's charm, if you will.
No, most definitely. So he looks down. I think the question you had posed was who would kill otherwise, and it comes out much gruffer than what it was intended, perhaps. Or perhaps it came out just as you intended, but it did not fall. And he says, oh, it's your job, isn't it? Find out who did this. Anything else you wish to ask him about?
Not at this time, I guess.
I think we might have to come back to him.
Yeah.
Very well. I'll be here. If you need me.
And when he wanders off, should we go straight to our end again?
Are we meant to be doing like body searches for weapons?
So body searches,
nature.
you cannot conduct them yourself, but you can ask the Sigmarite priest to investigate. But that's going to be limited to like Greta, Arendt, and Everd, and Matthias. If you
they're not gonna.
Yeah, if there are pressing reasons to do it, you can then press it on the nobles, but like a personal body search. You can see they are also investigating the wagons as well. Not just the Sigmarite wagon, they are going to be inspecting both the Dernbach and Kreutzfeld wagons.
Yeah, I was hoping to get a look underneath the wagon to see if we could find any evidence of a dart, or just to confirm what the actual weapon was used, if that was option.
They are searching for that, and as of yet, they have not. Though with like all the tramping around that's gone on, it could very well be in the bottom of someone's boot. It could have gotten trucked down elsewhere. It wouldn't have been a very large thing. Now, while you cannot conduct bodily searches without good cause on the nobles, you certainly can question the nobles.
Yeah.
So what would you guys like to do next? Back to Errant or on to a new witness?
Well, my notes are saying that it's Frederick and Brigitte who are the ones that don't want the families joined. That was from Matthias. So I don't know if one of those might be next on our hit list task.
Yeah, it's probably like tactically it's good to go one from one family, one from the other family, so they don't get upset that, or assume that we're targeting one family or the other.
But at some point, I'd like to know what Erent's beef with the deceased was.
Yeah, maybe
at some point.
That might be some like thing you can casually bring up with him. Maybe not in like an interrogation, but like since you're like a soldier, warrior. I mean,
apply some of my dwarvish charm. You mean?
Yeah, that too. Or intimidate the crap out of him. Yeah, I don't know. I just think. I mean, he was killed with like. I mean, I guess anyone can use like a subtle jab of poison. But if he was pissed off at the priest of Sigmar, it doesn't seem his MO to. He would have just beat the crap out of him. I mean, in my opinion, but I could be totally wrong. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong that the impression you get, a guy like Errant or a guy like Everett for that matter, it's unlikely they are trained to make effective use of a blowgun, or you know.
Oh yeah, if it's a blowgun. Oh yeah, I wonder if any of these people. We should ask it as a weird question. We should ask it. Have you ever been to Lustria?
He wouldn't be my first choice either, but I just wouldn't mind the reason for our.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's got motive, right? But
it may lead us to other questions in other directions, maybe. But we can keep going on family to family if you think that's
and come back. Yeah.
Come back.
So do we go for the mutant, the husband murderer, the man paying the lady of the night?
And obviously those two accusations, not so much the final one, but the other ones too, like that's
great.
like fighting words stuff, so you're going to want to tread carefully.
Bit more subtle, yeah,
that's like blackmail stuff, so you know we'll let Jonathan's character do that eventually because he wants to go that path. I don't know, maybe we should talk to Dorothy.
Yeah, I think that wouldn't be a bad option.
She's a fellow ex-sister of Shalia as well.
And that's the one whose husband died suddenly of a quick illness.
Yep, that's right. All right, so if you head back over to the Durenbachs, she says something to Brigitte and to Ruprecht, and then she will head over to speak to you. And
are we like all standing, or do we have like chairs?
I think you are all standing because it's just there's only the three wagons here, right? There's the Sigmarite wagon, the other two, and you guys are otherwise in. I think I've got that illustration of the Forest Road here. Here we go.
So, I wonder if she wants her servant. We can ask if the nobles want their servants to bring out chairs so they can sit down.
Oh, they would have no chairs with them either.
they're
Yeah,
not stuck in
this
the
isn't like
cocoon.
like the court of Louis or whatever. These are backcountry. As much as their families are important in Nordland, they are, backcountry. They likely would have grown up things with like falconry and whatnot. So they're not, delicate court flowers. That would be the folks in. Is it Ubersreich? Who's the one? Is Ubersreich that is ruled by the? No, Nuln. Nuln is the one that's ruled by the. Is it the Electric Countess who throws the crazy parties and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But they make canon, so she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're really allowed some eccentricities when you make big fuck off cannons. So, all right. That's great. She comes over, and the she has a very long brunette hair braided tight at each side in an attempt to decrease her icy good looks. She's dressed in a hooded plain white robes, beneath which is an off-white cloth garment that terminates at the neck and is imprinted with the mark of Shalia. These are not the robes of the priesthood of Shalia, but you can tell that they are very much styled on them. Uh-huh. And she walks up to you. Now, I don't know any Shalian aphorisms. So, yeah,
I don't either.
Nuts. You know what? I've got. I say we don't have a Faith's book, but from second edition we do. I'll dig that out for next time. But she comes over and she says, "The blessings of mercy upon you, sister."
Mercy upon you as well.
I'm pleased to see that the Electric Count was able to send one from my former order, as well as the devotees of the Hammer and the Waves. Sad times, though, and grave responsibilities for you.
Yes. But the Lady in White would not give us what we cannot handle.
This is true. This world serves up much difficulties, but Shalia can be a source of great balm to those in need. Now, you are charged with finding who murdered, so I will try to... who murdered Herr Hager. I will try to be as much assistance as I can. I do not know who killed Herr Hager. And...
Who do you... Go ahead. Go ahead, Lee. Who do you think is least likely to want you two families to get along?
Least likely?
Least likely to want to want peace.
I could not say, but I can tell you that I truly wished for peace between our families, as did dear Jakob. The feud between our families has been too long and too old. With this new opportunity in Nordland, this is also an opportunity for us to put aside old grudges and unite. I'm not sure how well the secret has been kept, but Jakob and I were to announce our engagement and pending marriage at the Peace Summit.
Yes. Do you think that is still a possibility, or has it been sabotaged? People pointing fingers and all that.
I truly hope that in spite of Herr Hager's untimely death, we can still find a way. I know I wish this in my heart, and I know that Jakob wishes it in his. We wish this all this feuding to come to an end and see both families prosper in this new opportunity for Nordland.
You and her Jacob.
That is correct. We have found that there is a great love between us. Unexpected, but we feel it is something that can be used as a foundation to find peace between our families.
Did Matthias tell us how long ago her husband died? I'm not asking her. I'm just. Did we have that information?
It was. Well, she's not that old, so it can't have been that long ago.
No.
I don't think he had a specific timeline for it, no.
So it's fairly recently.
Not so recent as to be just before this. Like, there was enough time for him to die, for the investigation to be to occur, and then for these events to transpire. The lead up to this, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
If allowed, could I ask how long you and Jacob have been together or been seeing each other?
6 years ago is when her husband passed.
Okay.
We came to know one another over the past year. And forgive me, 2 years. We met at a fundraising opportunity sponsored by the Church of Shalia. I may not be a ordained sister any longer, but one never walks away from the Lady of Mercy. And I met him there. He was participating in a similar endeavor. We found there was much that we shared, and I do not know what you've heard of the Kreutzfelds, but he is a noble soul.
And has he told his brother yet? Do you know that you're planning this wedding?
Frederick is a particularly involved man, and I do not doubt that Jacob and his father have told Friedrich of what to expect. I do not wish to speak ill of my future extended family, but I expect it would have been challenging for Friedrich to accept this.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think he'd be happy for the joining of the families after all of the problems in the past?
You must understand, this is not simply a disagreement of neighbors. This is not one who feels that they have had a lamb that has wandered onto their neighbor's property or damage to a fence or a tree. This is the accumulated pile of slights over generations. And in the same way that we know that the sun will rise in the morning, and we know that snow will be cold to the touch, we are taught to hate and distrust the Kreutzfelds. We wish to put an end to that, Jakob and I. There is no sense in it. And all we have to show for generations of slights is a collection of meaningless grievances, many of which are between dead people. But it is no small thing to set aside when you're told that it is a responsibility for your family. Mercy, Sister Katerina, is hard when it costs of you, no?
So, how would you compare the getting out of the news of you and Jacob's interest in each other with the troubles, with the most recent troubles between the families? Do you think there's much of a... Do you think the two times compare very well?
I don't quite follow your question, Master Dwarf.
Well, in the time that you and Jacob decided to get more serious, and this news got out a little bit, does that coincide?
Perhaps you misunderstand, Master Dwarf. Among our kind, this is no simple romance between myself and Jacob. Though the love is true, this would be a binding of our houses in an inextricable and permanent manner. This is not simply a dalliance between the two of us. This would serve to make formal an end to, how do your kind put it? To the grudges.
And in this serious matter, when you and Jacob first told the first person you did, whoever that would have been, do you think that that was the time that the most recent troubles between your families began? Most recent troubles that had kicked up a bit, do you think?
Things have not, Master Dwarf. If there was an active disagreement between parties, we would not be moving towards peace. I do not know how it is in your kind, but it's not in the height of conflict or rising of tensions, at which time peace is easily found. If you were asking if either the Kreutzfelds have slighted the Durenbachs as of late, or they feel we have slighted them of late, there is no recent grief to be piled upon our history between the families, if that is what you ask.
Very well.
We expected the news to be difficult for some to accept, but ultimately expected the support of our families.
This Greta lady, is she with the Durhambach family, or is she
looks,
one of their guests?
The woman, she is not with us. I thought she may have been with, if not Everett is an obvious man. I would have thought if she was with him, it would have been more obvious, but perhaps with the Master-at-Arms of the Kreutzfelds? Perhaps with I do not think my brother would keep with such a woman, but Freddie?
I've seen the way that Freddie, as you call him, looks at her. So you could be right.
Then that, I would agree with your assessment then. She is likely here for Freddie. I think she would call him Frederick, not Freddie. She isn't. That's Greta's thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is there any other way I can assist with this? I have spoken to my sister and my brother, and we are all eager to provide what assistance we can.
Where was she during the attack? Because she said she didn't see anything or doesn't know who the murderer is, but where is she?
I was attending to a small, ill child on the far side of the caravan, next to the Durnbach coach.
Okay.
At the time.
I didn't know are there children around? I didn't even notice that.
There are some kids amongst here, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, like with the camp follower people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anyone that you're aware of that has bad feelings for the deceased? His father Erasmus?
Thognoth. One second. Remember your question, because I didn't hear it. I was sorry. I was rolling for something and then think of something else.
Yeah.
Thognoth, you remember looking when the mutants were here? You're pretty fucking sure there was no kid on the side of the caravan. If there was, I don't know whether you would necessarily have done anything to specifically protect a child, but it's certainly something you would have been aware of.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm hearing of this too, right? It's weird.
Yeah, it was such a chaos. I think Alwyn and Katerina, it could very well have been true, and you were at the back of the caravan, so who knows what's going on. But Thognoth, like, one of the things you do, right, like, you are cognizant of a situation before you go in, because you are only one person. You need to be able to be aware of where weaknesses are in your lines and where, weaknesses are in the other lines. You remember casting a look quickly up the caravan. You don't remember seeing any child there.
That was very kind of you.
And just remember, accusing a noble of lying, you best be careful. Or you best at least be certain of things.
It's very kind of you, Lady Durnbach. Tell us more about this child. You were helping the child out prior to the attack. Then, is that right?
That's correct.
And just because I haven't been around the children. What was the ailment of the child, if I may ask?
Have you any expertise in chirurgic arts?
Probably not. Let me see. No, I doubt it. No.
Nothing life-threatening, but something that needed attention, nonetheless. Katerina and Owen, you both can feel free to think, like, why the fuck is he asking about this?
I was just going to ask, may you give us the name of the child?
I will see if I can find them once again. Sadly, I do not know the names of all the children here.
Only that we can talk to them, obviously, just to confirm.
Surely you do not think that the child is the murderer?
I believe they're wanting to corroborate your alibi.
They may have seen something.
Once we can confirm where everyone's whereabouts are.
You call me a liar?
No. This is just a simple procedure of just putting people in their places. And
so one thing to bear in mind is that this is not a situation where everyone is equal in like a modern day investigation. Calling a noble a liar, they have a whole different set of laws that they are governed by than everyone else in the old world. This is why I mentioned that calling someone a liar or even implying a noble is a liar, you best be very sure that you can catch them in it, because they can do this kind of bullshit of just saying,
oh yeah,
you don't take my word. Like the oral evidence of a noble, for instance, in these would be accepted over a commoner.
Yeah,
because of course it would be. They're nobles. And I mean, like, Alwyn, you would be aware of this too. It would be a common gripe amongst the lower classes of like, well, they just get away with whatever the fuck they want. Believe me. Yeah. It's certainly something you guys can plan on and try and get. She will. What she leaves it at is, unless you press it further, is that she will try and find the child for you. It's
just very easy for everyone to get confused in the chaos of obviously this mutant attack. We're just trying to work out what's happened. And
well, I have told you where I was.
Yes, you did.
The reason we would speak to the child is just because
Katerina, Katerina, you are now certain that she's lying.
Oh, about the child?
Yeah, like this is the woman that you've been speaking to and the impression you've got of her. There's just, now that she's the way she responded to Alwyn about finding this thing, you're like, oh, again, you must be, hey, Greenstein.
A new bark toy, a new toy for
that's awesome.
Yep.
$40 for the toy, but they don't have the food.
Yeah, you best be careful. Like, unless you've got absolute proof, this is the kind of thing that they can very easily turn it back on. How dare you accuse things? And it's unlikely to be her. It may be her family. This is the delicate.
Yeah, she did talk to Brigida very quickly before she came over to contest.
Yeah, but what you are certain
I would say I think Katerina is gonna, seeing that, she's probably going to, because Lady Darrenbach, I think we've taken enough of your time, but if you wish to discuss matters perhaps that only women might discuss, and I look at these two males here, because of your impending nuptials or other things you might want to confess, I am here for you, madam. Perhaps we can talk later anyway, because I would like to know. I'm still like an, I'm still an initiate, and you were in the church a little longer than I, and I would like to know some other things about your experiences in the church for my future edification.
She turns and I think, again, you saw, I rolled a critical success for your perception. Or, perception was the... intuition.
Yeah.
And you can see, now that you've given her the out to get away from talking about this alibi, she's, like, once again, just incredibly friendly with you. We must speak. I would enjoy hearing how Mother Agatha is as well. I hear that she still is the abbess, or I can't remember what her position is. Mother Superior, I guess. Mother Superior of the church, of the Shalian Temple. So thank you. When your duties are complete. Thank you all. And she turns and leaves. And you guys have enough opportunity to go amongst yourself. So Thognoth, you're right.
I tell Alwyn and Thognoth she's lying. If it wasn't obvious to you, she's definitely lying. We won't be. I doubt.
Yeah, I didn't.
They'll just pay some poor kid to say, "Yeah, she helped me."
I didn't notice any children during the combat.
Yeah, it's the first time I've heard of children.
I think I would have noticed if one was out there and she was with them.
Mutant children? I don't know. That ran off.
Both the presence of a child and of the noblewoman, I think, would have caught my eye.
But these nobles, they all lie. They all lie.
Should. Yeah.
It's like a disease with them.
This one seems particularly untimely, though, or should I say, timely for our investigation.
Well, I mean, her and her sister had a little chat before she came over here. So I'm unfortunately, she might, if hasn't done it, she could be an accomplice.
I guess it's.
So do we start building the gallows now, gentlemen, or?
Yeah.
But lying doesn't make you a murderer.
No, but you're hiding something, right?
Oh, without doubt. But that could mean you're an accomplice, like you say, and helping someone else.
She could be hiding. I mean, we didn't press her on because it'd be a slippery slope for us if we started saying, "Oh, well, we heard that Jacob Kreisfeld is a mutant." Although we could say that guy said he was a mutant, but
No sense in looking for a sick child, I assume. Do you think that's a lie altogether? I would assume it was, I suppose.
Well, I think what I can do, I mean, perhaps I should go around and herd up the children and make sure they have a thorough, health exam here to see if they are indeed sick.
Do you not think that people might point out, why are you doing that when you have a more pressing task? You guys have stopped in the middle of lands where you were attacked by mutants once.
I would say that I need to clear my head, and sometimes Shalia talks to me when I do her good works.
That may not be accepted.
Okay.
Remember, you're inconveniencing two noble families right now.
Yeah. Well, but these guys can continue the investigation, and I'll just step out and.
Those guys are not right. You're the one who is the.
Oh, well, too bad Jonathan's not here. Jonathan, go do that. Go check this out. But
I think you could probably question the children just to see if anyone saw anything. You could do it under the auspices of the investigation. I mean, a child may not be a wonderful witness, but if they say, "Oh, there was a man that looked like this over there," that could be useful. I mean, that's not totally out of uncalled for, I would think.
How do you think?
I'm talking to Katerina.
How do you think that they would place the value of the evidence of the kids?
They're not correct.
Well, I wouldn't be producing.
So again, guys, let's just.
Yeah.
We talked about this last time. Remember, this is an artificial situation. This is it's a murder mystery where there is going to inevitably be some things that you might be able to track down or whatnot too. But you have before you the main venues for getting the information necessary to solve this. This particular murder mystery has more arch to it than what some other things do. But chasing down other avenues are unlikely to yield you much.
Yeah. So we put her down as a liar for now.
Yeah, that's the important thing, is that she lied for whatever reason. But I think we should talk to you want to talk to Frederick first or Jacob?
I mean, the other thing I was going to ask is, are the families keeping separate, so there's none of them talking to each other?
Definitely not. No, the Durenbachs are one side, and then Everett is with the retinue with them. Okay. Friedrich and Jakob are on the other side, or keeping near their carriage. Arendt is with them. The priests of Sigmar are looking through their. Like, I guess, let me just back up to one of the ways to think about this too is that if you found a kid, like if there isn't a kid she spoke to, you're searching for a negative, and that's not going to be a value, particularly if they just say, well, the kids don't remember.
Right.
You know,
anyway, she's going to she's going to find a kid and send him to us, and he's going to be told to say what
precisely. And at the end of the day, what she will. The important thing you've already gained from this is you are certain, Katerina, that she is lying.
Yeah.
Yes, it's finding something that we can pin someone that's going to be really hard, I'd imagine.
Well, I think they're all going to lie to us. That's the problem.
Well, that's what I said. They're all liars.
Or they're all, they're all bending the truth.
I will tell you that they are all liars in some degrees. They all have secrets to some degrees. But some of these things can be exposed, though.
Yeah, without getting ourselves killed.
Yeah.
Preferably.
I mean, we could really cause chaos if we wanted to, but I guess that's not our.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like
There's some nasty. Well, I mean, the problem is we don't know if it's. We'd have to know if it's true or not. You know.
So, what do we do about these amongst ourselves? What do we do about the rumor bits that we're finding? Do we try and drop these into these conversations, like Jacob? If we speak to him, do we say that someone's spreading a rumor that
It might be worth doing. I don't know. I would talk to. I think we probably need some advice from Raymer, because while Shalia, mutants are anathema, but Shalia does have some mercy towards some of the mutants that don't go around killing people. So, but the priests of Sigmar are very zealous about mutants and the like. So
would you each
maybe we should talk to Raymer and say, hey, we heard this rumor in conversation with these people, and what should we do, or have you heard anything? And then what is our prerogative, since you're like priest of, or acolyte priest of Sigmar? And I can make an excuse while Shalia shows mercy to people. It's self-defense, so but yeah, we can before we talk to, maybe we should talk to Frederick first.
Yeah, I think next.
It's too obvious if we talk to Jacob. We talk to Frederick first, and then and then talk to the priest of Sigmar, see if they found anything, and then go back to.
Would you
so
each?
It looks like we're going forward with the investigation. Right?
Sure. Would you each give us a perception check too, please? Challenging.
Man, there's stuff going on. We can't see it. Oh, so Dogmouth is now. Oh, there you go.
Nice.
We've had our coffee, and now we're going to see them.
Exactly. All right. So two things I will tell you.
Okay.
Thognoth, because you've got the thought of this in your mind, you've heard what she said about the child. You're looking around, pacing back and forth, Thognoth. There is no such child. The way she describes the kid, there's no such child in this caravan. You're certain that, did I miss this? You could speak to the servants, maybe, and see if they have anything further to shed light on this, but you cannot see. There's just, Katerina has already told you she feels she is lying, but you can't see any child matching this description. But I imagine you can already think of the, lies that may be spread, or spew forth if confronted. Maybe the child ran off. Maybe the child is hiding. Maybe the child, whatever.
Maybe she mistook it for a mutant.
Maybe she mistook the child's hair color.
Yeah.
Exactly. What, Katerina?
I do have a question.
Oh, of course.
Do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did she seem sincere about having peace and her affection for Jacob?
Yes, that's the thing. With all the other,
so it could be.
Yeah, with all the other things that that she was talking about, you take it as sincere. Like that was the thing that I think I rolled a crit for you as well. So I think the thing that sort of tweaked the falsehood for you was, it was clear she was being open and honest with you with these other aspects of it, and then suddenly there's this nonsense about helping a kid on the side of the, you're like, what?
Yeah, that's weird.
What?
But we could use that kind of to our advantage, because if you don't see any kids, Thognoth, we can distract if we need to Errant and or Everett and go, there's these missing children that we were told about. We need to find them. Maybe they're hiding in the bushes, type of thing. I don't know. So we could use it as a distraction.
Yeah. So you're Thognoth is looking back and forth. I think Alwyn, Astrid is sort of looking at the bushes still, not growling or anything like that, but ears are up and the little bit of his back is up too. So he's clearly keeping an eye out for any further mutants that are coming in. And Katerina, what you happen to spy is as you're coming back and you talk to Thognoth, you mentioned Errant, and you look over and you can see that Errant has just finished doing sort of a surreptitious look, and he's stuffing something, or perhaps reassuring that something is stuck inside his armor or tunic.
Oh.
He doesn't seem to have seen you witnessing this.
Maybe we should bring him over since Errant accused him, or not Errant, Everett accused him of killing this guy. And what did you stuff in your tunic?
So the searches of these individuals, the non-nobles, you certainly can do that.
Well, I would say Thognoth, if you saw that Thognoth, you should bring him. You should search him, ask him what he put in his pocket.
Was it who saw it, Kevin? Was it Katerina or
Katerina saw it? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, Thognoth was looking for what you saw was the kids,
the kid.
or that like none of these kids seem to match up with.
Yeah, Thognoth. He just stuck something in his pocket.
So you look over Thognoth, and he doesn't. You don't see it on him, but you definitely get the impression that like he's. You know, like when you just did something that you don't want people to see, and you're doing that kind of like. That's the look he has on his face right now. And he said it doesn't seem to notice you. Didn't look down, clearly, Thognoth.
I'll head over.
Okay. Yeah, because
I'll walk over to him.
We're going to have him ask Frederick to come over anyway, so we could use that as a...
Okay. So you walk over, and he looks down. Master Dwarf?
And what would be his honorific, if any?
None.
Like what? I mean, none.
Yeah,
okay.
none. If you
So
want
just
to be,
last
he doesn't have any.
Polite, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like even Sir would be inappropriate. He's not a knight.
Yeah, not, you know.
So
hey, fuckhead.
Yeah, I'd probably just go with his last name. I'll go Strutstorp. What? You if you don't mind me saying, and even if you do, you look like you look like you just took a hen out of the hen house. And I try to soften it poorly, and look at his tunic, like kind of, and look at him.
Is there any element of threat to what you're saying?
No, like more. He's been caught. I mean, I'm being direct, not. I'm not trying for intimidation, but I'm being direct.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't you give us a charm check at... well, this will be easy, though. So it'll be plus 40.
Okay. Let's see...
Yeah, I'm going to make a cool check for him. You know, fortune point that?
You got a 50-50 chance. I mean...
Sure.
Okay.
Let's see here. It's interesting. I see that I have one fate but two fortune. I don't think that's possible. So I guess I had one. I've been having two fortune. Did I always have one fate? Is that right?
I don't know. You should always have two. Did you accidentally change the fate?
I know. That's what I'm asking. Like, no. I mean, not intentionally.
So hold on, because dwarves start. Let's just double check with the stats. Yeah. I know you got they're more limited in those kind of free.
Right. Yep.
A dwarf starts with 0 fate and starts with 2 extra points. Is your resilience 2?
My resilience is 2.
Yeah, so then your fate should be 2 as well.
Okay.
I don't think you've burned any fate points to try and...
I think I must have meant to reduce fortune once, would be the explanation. And I reduced fate.
Yeah.
Because I know I can't have 1 fate and 2 fortune, so it's worth figuring out what happened.
Yeah. No, that must be what happened.
Okay.
So...
Okay, re-roll. Let's see. All right. Charm. Easy. Oh, no.
So he's looks at you and flushes a bit, and he says, I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about. Now,
She's gonna be more polite. Say, Master Strepstorp, please, we're all friends here trying to solve this heinous event and get back on the road. What did you stuff in your shirt?
Why don't you give us a charm check at easy as well? Unless you wish to make it intimidate. That's also easy.
It's about the same. I don't know.
I think the result of the crit fail or crit success is probably going to be dictated by what skill you use, but your dealer's choice.
I think she's more charming than
Makes
at
sense.
this point
Okay.
than intimidating.
Man, astounding success. She looks at you, or he looks at you. His eyes.
She does say, "Please, Master Strepstorp." She'll add that too.
And what he simply says is, his eyes, and he says, "My lady," and they're sort of like that, like wet pre-cry kind of thing. And he says, "I did not kill him." And he pulls out a letter and he hands it to you. And allow me to give you guys a handout.
Oh, a prop. I like it.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess at this point we'd say, well, we've heard that you've had a history with the late Erasmus Hager, so perhaps you should tell us about this while we evaluate
Okay.
this
So,
note.
who would like to read this aloud for us?
Oh my god, I can't read that handwriting. That's like English handwriting. Darren, you read it.
Remember, you can click on the spyglass to make it full screen.
It's not
know.
too bad. It's not too bad, yeah.
My dearest Arent, it is my wish that this missive finds you in good health and gainful employ. Regarding the matter we discussed, I believe a sum no less than 500 gold crowns shall suffice to bring about a resolution satisfactory to both our interests. Once the amount has come into my possession, I will consider the matter closed, and you shall not hear from me again on the subject. Oh, wow. My deepest gratitude for your cooperation, Erasmus Hager. An accusation from the dead.
So he, you look back and he is just ashen-faced right now. For this great big man, he is just, you feel like you could knock him over with a feather. And he says in halting and hushed tones, I had an affair with a noblewoman 8 years ago. And while on campaign, confessed such to our unit's priest of Sigmar, Hager.
So I have to ask in this verse, because I honestly don't know, are confessions sacred? Like they are
Should
in...
be, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It's not...
So are you saying this was Erasmus Hagar and he broke the confidence of the confession?
He did not, but he threatened to do so.
Mm.
And when he did so, his arms go up and he says, "It failed, but it cost me my commission and my career. I was lost to drink for many years before I recovered and found employment with the Kreutzfelds. But if they learn of this, and
That you
this,
had an affair, or that I mean, nope. People have affairs all the time, honestly. But
They do. But I think more so the fact that he was crossing class lines probably has an effect on it.
Oh, with a noblewoman, yes, that's more. Yeah, that's more.
And that he was being blackmailed.
Right.
Again.
Yeah, because that can make him compromise.
One after the man was
cetera.
murdered. Sure, easy to when you didn't bring it to your employer's attention beforehand, it really casts a pall on you. And one thing to remember too, that's a difference between this, the old world, and our world is that it doesn't really fucking matter who did it. You just need to find someone to blame.
Yeah, they just need to find someone to blame. I know.
Yeah.
Would we expect him to have access to 500 cold grounds?
Sorry?
500 cold grounds is that. I mean, this is impossible for him.
Yeah.
Impossible.
So this is a different. I think you could probably translate it into this edition of being a lot of money, but money that he could conceivably come across. More still, it's intended on being an extraordinary sum.
Mm-hmm. I think it's still in the older edition. It's still like a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, like it's crazy. And like, how would you not get that by not just stealing from your employers?
You'd have to steal from your employers. Yeah. You'd have for him. Yeah.
So he says that this is what happened when he found that Erasmus was the representative of the Elector Count. He had this is where this began once again. Mm-hmm. I received this. And last time I responded to him, it cost me my career. 7 years. The money? Have I paid?
Did you pay?
Of course not. How would I come across such money? It is a fortune that he would have demanded. It
makes me.
You can kind of tell, he doesn't seem to have had a plan for how to deal with this.
So, I mean, when he says vehemently that he did not kill him, is he telling the truth? Can we tell if he's telling the truth?
You are fairly confident, Katerina, yeah.
Yeah, again, look at those big meaty hands. He would have strangled the dude.
Yeah. But Alwyn,
he would have at the very least slit him his throat with a dagger.
Oh yeah, and this guy is not. He is a man at arms. Like the skill, in a world like the old world where it is very gritty and it's by sword stroke. Becoming an assassin is an extraordinarily difficult task, and it's a very niche thing. You are using things that your target should not, notice.
Yeah, you're a ninja. Yeah.
Exactly, and should kill. And it's not the kind of things that this guy would have. This is a guy who is probably pretty competent with that sword of his, but it's not the kind of. And I mean, if his response to being blackmailed was to beat the living shit out of a priest in front of people and nearly kill him like that.
Yeah.
But still keep your secret and the noblewoman's secret, that's
pretty good. Yeah.
That says something about him.
I think he's a man of decent quality.
Alwyn, what you can tell, there seems like there's more.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him, do you think anyone else knows of this? Anyone else in this caravan, these nobles, any of them know of your predicament? His eyes
snap to you, and then his eyes look over, and you rolled well enough in your perception. His eyes have gone to Ruprecht Durenbach. And he looks back at you.
That would make sense.
And he says there was... One of the Durenbachs offered. I do not know how he came to know of Erasmus Hager's demand, but he offered to pay off the demands in exchange for me feeding my master poor advice. Jakob.
Did you do this?
I did not.
Well, we are in a predicament. You know how this goes, Master Stroke. If these nobles hear about this, that is motive. There is opportunity. They throw the gallows up themselves if they didn't want to get their hands dirty or blistered.
How was... Yeah. He shakes.
But you can help us, and I will, with my companions' agreement, we'll just burn this letter. Secrets stay with the dead man.
His eyes go wide. You would do such a thing?
Truth be told, I'm very disappointed that a priest of Sigmar would blackmail somebody. And that's the honest truth. Whoa, that's pretty bad to me. I mean, so Sigmar is supposed to be like,
yeah,
like lawful good, in the D&D parlance,
Yeah.
Yeah, but who was it that offered to pay it off for him? What was the name?
Ruprecht Durenbach.
Gotcha.
Well, it makes sense because like Everett knew. He must, somehow.
Yeah,
I was just thinking, what did he want him to?
I don't want to say that. I don't want to fight to break out.
But what did he want him to? Was the information or bad advice that he wanted him to give him? Is that in any way relevant to this situation? Would you think?
Well, he wanted him to feed him bad advice with respect to the peace between the families and to cause further problems.
So just a general, it's not going to be specific to what we're investigating.
Yeah.
I know you're a military man, Master Stetstrup.
Yes.
Looking around at these nobles, have you seen, or do you think have you ever seen them practicing archery or using that dreaded crossbow or, heaven forbid, an assassin's weapon like a blowgun?
I've only heard through gossip,
nobles,
but
nobles are... Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I say Hager did not die from a bow shot or a crossbow's bolt, did he?
No, but in my naivety, I would feel like the skill, that sort of precision archery assassination would fit in that. I only know what my father has told me.
No, not that I have witnessed. Though, as with me, they tend to hire others to do things they cannot themselves. Whoever did this, perhaps they were at the behest of others.
So, I kind of try to use my eyes and subtly motion towards Matthias or Greta.
And he says, I do not know the troubadour too new to hear, but Greta, she is known to one of my masters.
I think he's on it. Can you tell us about that? No, he didn't tell us.
No,
she's with Freddy, but he doesn't know that, I don't think, does he?
He has not admitted it as of yet, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
He seems to be loyal to his masters. So what he says is, I would beg you to not let it be known that either of my shame or of Hager's blackmail, but I trust that you will do what is best to see justice done. What I told you before, peace. Peace just once, I would like to see in my time.
All right, just play sad, Master Stetstrup. And please be observant if you see anything or hear anything. or accused of anything.
Oh, are we taking this letter then, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're taking it, right?
Well, that I'll make it clear to him. If this letter is found on you, that's your death sentence.
Yeah, that's why we crumple it up.
Simple, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, I understand. There.
I'm sure people are watching us, so that's a problem.
Why don't you each give us a perception check, and then we'll take our. Well, then I'll tell you what do you see, and then we'll take our mid-session break.
I don't have. Does anyone have sleight of hand?
Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah, I've got sleight of hand.
Oh yeah.
You want to try?
I was wondering if it was. I was wondering if it was worth trying that, or trying to sort of try and add to it as if I was taking notes.
I would. They're not going to believe that you can read and write. Come on.
Yeah, that's a bit far. That is far-fetched. Jeez.
Sleight of hand might be a
crazy
good thing to do.
Yeah, I'll try and pocket it
Sure.
if I'm able to.
All right. So challenging perception.
Challenging challenging perception from everybody, and a challenging sleight of hand from Alwyn.
Okay. Come on, dice gods.
No.
Nice.
You got some fortune.
Nice. Okay. Thognoth. I think Thognoth is beginning to suspect those fucking kids.
Yeah, it's.
I don't have to
You're
send them with their
you're still
wee
looking for the
hands.
kids. You're still looking for those kids. That's hiding in the bushes.
Let's see here. Marginal from both. Okay, so Alwyn and Katerina, I think you both notice at the back of the Durenbach wagon, there is a large trunk. And what you see is, as you're looking over at Ruprecht, he thinks that he was unseen, but has just closed something and latched it. And has that, like, shoulders up and down of a big sigh. You would guess a sigh of relief. And then he steps away from it.
Okay.
So I'm going to take our mid-session break now, refresh our coffees and such, and then we'll continue your investigation when we get back. So for those listening at home, we'll be back momentarily. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So, what do you guys wish to do next?
Just quickly, did I
notes at all?
manage?
Oh,
Did I
sorry.
manage to sleight of hand the letter with that attempt?
It appears
Wow.
he did.
I mean, I don't know for sure. Obviously,
Yeah, it is a
but
contested roll, so
it didn't go horribly wrong. Something stupid.
no
Okay.
one is like, "What do you got there?" At least.
Yeah.
Although with this lot, do you think they do that, or they plan for a more
They do
dramatic
something
reveal?
else. Yeah.
String me up. Do you think Frederick next, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to talk to. Although, I don't know. What was... We need to see what's in that chest.
Yeah, did you want to do that first, or should we leave it a few minutes just to make out that we didn't notice and it's more
I might
of a
be...
routine?
Are you pretty stealthy?
I've got the sleight of hand.
If that chest is locked, can you open it?
I have got pick locks, but I wouldn't say I'm brilliant at it. But
I mean, it's risky, but I mean,
did he lock it afterwards? Did we see him lock it?
You didn't see, but it likely was the case.
Yeah. And when you say it's at the front of the caravan, how obvious?
it's at the
would it be
back.
if
Right?
someone-
At the back, strapped to the back of the
back,
Durnbach thing, yeah.
So is it got someone basically watching it all the time, or do you think we'd have an opportunity to?
Right.
So one thing to consider, you could check with Raymer about this. Remember, he was the one who was taking the lead on the searches,
Yeah.
the physical searches at least.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should ask him. You know, would we be able to like check some of the storage areas for anything suspicious?
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they could get away with it. You could say that. You could say tell him what you saw, and then he can, use his warrant to.
Why don't you guys? Let me see here. Why don't you? Give us a perception check, please, each of you. Sorry, guys, I was trying to remember which event I was thinking of.
Challenging?
Let's make this routine.
Average. Then?
Average. Yeah, wrong game, Madison. Wrong game. You're not in the grim darkness of the far future. You're in the grim darkness of the old world. Holy smokes, Katarina. Wowzers. So perhaps you guys are walking past. So is that everybody? Everyone roll? Hey, y'all did pretty well. Katarina, you were the one who most quickly notices this. And as you're looking by, you can see that you've got Sigmarite initiates who are searching the Durenbach's wagon and kind of looking around. And you can see there are others who are also searching the Kreutzfeld's carriage, not cabin, carriage. And what catches your ear, Katarina, is there's kind of a... You can see they're kind of checking in with it, and then one of the initiates looks like he's a little elderly, perhaps a bit hard of hearing, but what you hear is, as you pass the Durnbach, they're, underneath the seats, tunk, 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 checking to see whether there is anything underneath them. The older initiate is checking in the Kreutzfeld's one, tunk, 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 tunk. And you're like, wait, what? And when you get over there, it appears that this different sound in the Kreutzfeld's coach, for the paneling underneath there, this older initiate seems to have missed it. Because he doesn't seem to be making any distinction.
So I do initiate. He probably has a name, but
It doesn't mean, yeah, honestly.
Yeah, so I say, can you check that again? It sounded hollow.
It sounded what?
Hollow. I call.
Hello?
Hello. I call Bognoth and Alwyn over and tap it where he was tapping.
Tung, tung, tung. And you can see that Friedrich is kind of like about to interrupt, and Jakob sort of puts his hand up and is like, hold on. And he says, oh, and he knocks along. And now that it's here, all of you made your successful perception checks. You can absolutely hear this. It sounds like there is a concealed compartment underneath one of the seats. And Raymer comes over and says, what is happening here? I thought we agreed to you would conduct in your interviews and we would conduct the physical inspections.
Unfortunately, it seems one of your men here may have missed something. By chance, I heard my dog's ears perked up when the sound of this knocking on the seats. It seems like there might be something.
Yeah, we'll leave you to it.
The initiate turns to Raymer and he says, kind of like, "Arr," and he knocks on the things. And then when he gets to the last one, you can see from the expression on Raymer's face of like, oh. The old guy does not hear it the third time after he's demonstrated multiple times. But Raymer does. He goes in, and what you find is there is a concealed compartment underneath there. And Fognoth, since you made a success, or got a success as well, made a success. I'm assuming that what sort of pattern you've fallen into is while your colleagues are looking at what is happening and investigating what is happening, you are looking at who is looking at you. So you can see, if you were to judge, Greta seems pretty interested in what you guys are finding in the Kreutzfeld carriage, as does Jakob. And with the secret compartment opened, Raymer brings out this small box, a small rectangular wooden box, and he says, well, this is curious. He pulls the clasp, opens it up, and while I'm not sure you have seen one before, you certainly know what it is. Inside the box is a disassembled blow dart pipe that is carefully tied with a bright ribbon to a velvet pillow. 11 darts are tied in a similar manner along the bottom of the pillow, with a 12th ribbon remaining untied and dangling off of the pillow's edge. At the top of the pillow can be found a single vial containing a dark liquid. Anyone I don't think that any of you guys have it. Anyone have any like
alchemical type stuff?
Training in alchemy or anything like that?
Nope.
No.
Medicine, anybody?
But
Yeah, medicine won't assist with this.
All right.
I assume evaluate is purely money.
Yeah.
if it's
And
outdoor survival, if it's herbal.
for this one, no, unfortunately not. The darts, Katerina.
Mm-hmm.
are certainly the size that could have made the puncture wound here.
Mm-hmm.
So, Raymer says, what? He looks back and forth. Is this the murder weapon?
It's highly likely, yes.
Concealed here. And he looks up, and at this point, even he can see that Jakob is definitely paying very close attention to what is happening in the Kreutzfeld cabin. It may very well be, or carriage, that may be because it's the Kreutzfeld carriage, or it may be that, you know, he is interested in what you found. So what do you guys say? More importantly, what do you do?
What was the, remind me, what was the occasion that we saw the box before? That we were aware of the box? What was it?
You weren't aware of the box.
Okay, I thought there was some...
That was a chest at the back of the caravan. That's
that's
unrelated at the moment.
Got it. That's what I was thinking of.
Chest is at the back of the Dernbach carriage.
Gotcha.
This box was found concealed in the Kreutzfeld carriage.
Gotcha.
So Katarina's going to see what the Durenbachs are doing while we're investigating this and probably getting excited about finding the potential murder weapon.
Yeah. I don't think they're aware of it, actually. Like as far, because there's a lot going on in the caravan, and there's guards watching for mutants and stuff like that, and there's sounds off in the forest. So the ones that seem to be paying attention were Greta and Jakob.
Oh, let's go have a talk with Greta, eh?
Or Jakob. We haven't talked to Jakob yet. Maybe let Greta stew for a little bit. He seemed interested.
Yeah, whichever.
Yeah, let's talk to him first, I would say.
Okay.
But it's curious. I mean, I would say, since Raymer's here, I would say, Brother Raymer, we did notice also that chest at the back of the Durenbach carriage seemed to be, well, one of the nobles there closed it, looked around suspicious. So perhaps we could investigate that next and see.
Ruprecht Durenbach was.
Yes, as if he were concealing something. You know that look.
Yeah, and he's nodding, and you can see wheels kind of turning, and he says, well, rummaging through the private property of a nobleman is serious business. I'm not a road warden. What if I ordered it forced open and it turns out to be a gift for the Elector Count? What if we damage some valuable item in the process of opening it?
Well, ask them to open it just as part of the investigation to be thorough, something like that. If they say no, they say no. But we could be courteous about it.
I think if we have a good idea of what is in that chest before we open it, I can feel more confident in pressing the matter with the Durenbachs. See if you can find what's inside, but for Sigmar's sake, please do it discreetly.
All right.
I will also, I will ensure that my brother's searches are checked once again by one with younger ears.
Yeah, so does he want to hold these darts? Because if they're already looking...
Would they be... I could hold them at your... and have them at your disposal. I will see if I cannot... You do not know what this... And he kind of like moves the pillow with the vial on the side. You don't know what this is.
I suspect it is the poison used to kill Brother Erasmus, but I am no alchemist.
We have an herbalist among our number. I will see if they can provide some insight And he closes it. If you need it, come and see me.
All right.
Thank you, Katerina, for forgiving, for our initiates are doing their best.
I understand that. That is why we're all here as a team.
And I'm grateful that you are here. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So he will turn and head off, and you wish to speak to Jakob now.
Jakob, yeah.
Okay. So Jakob has hard, aquiline features softened by a compassionate gaze. He is clean-shaven except for large sideburns that extend past the angles of his jaw. His hair has begun to gray at the edges. He is dressed in a light gray garment of fine material, and the left breast is imprinted with the Creutzfeldt family mark. So, as you approach, he will say something to Frederick, and then he will step apart to meet up with you. Hello, Sister Katerina. I suppose
Guys,
it is...
getting your story straight, and I laugh, like, haha, that's kind of funny. Not accusatory, just like more flirty.
Yeah. Give us a charm check. Let's see how we'll set the tone. And I think make that at make it at average, please.
Oh, I'm going to use a fortune point.
Yeah, fortune point that. You got it.
Yeah, that's more than 60. Jeez. Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't come across.
Hey.
Well.
So he stops and
maybe
starting with accusations, sister?
The rumor of him being a mutant is tainting my perception.
Quite possibly, yeah. What's a stressful situation too, right? Like, this is a difficult situation for all of you. So, who among us have not said?
I'm trying to be lighthearted. I apologize for my stepping out of bounds, my lord.
Perhaps
it was a tense situation.
The murder of a respected member of the Church of Sigmar in such times is perhaps now is not the time for levity, sister.
Yes, I understand. My apologies, sir.
Then
you look very interested in what we were doing at the carriage.
At the carriage?
Mm-hmm. At your carriage or coach?
You were...
One of the priests, the acolytes, or the initiates of Sigmar found a secret compartment. Do you know anything about that?
They did?
Yes.
Huh. I was not aware of... I can assure you that none of the Creutzfelds were involved with Erasmus's death, and I do not know who killed Father Erasmus.
Do you ever have a beef with the Church of Sigmar or Father Erasmus?
Myself?
Yeah, it seemed... Well...
No, we are devotees of the God of mankind and the Empire. I wished for these peace talks to succeed, you see. Mm-hmm. And I know there were similar feelings among the Durenbachs. If I were to guess, however, Ruprecht Durenbach has no end to his blind ambition. Being overlooked in favor of his sister did not sit well And that man they have in their employ, that Everett, I've heard of him. That man will do anything for money. And if Ruprecht felt that even so far as murdering a priest of Sigmar, I do not know if he would go to that lengths, but ambition has taken men to worse places.
So what do you think of the Dernbachs that are here?
And he looks... You spoke to Lady Dorothy.
Yes, she is a former priest of Shalia.
She is a wonder of a woman. I take it that you know what our intentions were at the peace conference.
Yes, we've heard rumors, but it could be idle gossip of the lower classes.
In this case, if it is rumor, it has substance. I love her. And she, me. We were to announce our pending marriage. And, Sigmar willing, we still will.
Yes. So who else among the families would know this, or is this just between the two? It can't be just between the two of you if it's a rumor.
No. No, it's... There is truth to it. We would see an end to this strife between our families. Though some, like her brother, would try and prevent it.
And your brother?
My brother
Would be your best man? Willingly?
My brother will come to appreciate the value of peace. He is not the fool that others claim he is. A mad gambler. He will come to see the wisdom in peace. It is hard, though. What did you find in our carriage?
The initiates of Sigmar found a box, but they have not shared with us the contents yet. They are still examining it. That is the way we're doing this investigation. We were to speak with you, and they were to do the
Give us a
things.
challenging deception check, Katerina.
Oh, do I have deception?
I think it's a common skill. Or it's not called deception. What is it called?
It's cool.
They use charm for a lot of things in this book.
Oh, yeah, charm was right. Yeah, use charm once again, please. Challenging charm.
Charm, okay.
Okay. So you say that, and his eyes kind of narrow, and he accepts that. When you do, I would like to, if there was something secreted on the carriage. I would appreciate knowing what it was.
I've seen a lot of secrets among the people here. Do you feel like there is anything that someone could use against you?
In what way do you mean?
I mean, did the Church of Sigmar have anything that they would dislike you for, that they might know about? Not that, as you contend, you're innocent. We believe you wholeheartedly,
Yeah.
Sir Cruzfeld. But there are definitely people here who do not want to see this peace go forward, and could be upset about your impending nuptials and your announcement in the know.
So he
Either side.
Yeah, he seems to get a
I do say, remember,
clue of where you're
Shalia.
going. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
His
I
eyes
should say, remember, Shalia is merciful.
And he locks eyes with you. Yes. Lady Dorothy and I, we met while she was performing a mission of mercy for your people. Tell me, Lady Katerina, how far does Shalia's grace extend in your mind?
I think I would have to roll for that, because I read some stuff, but I don't know if Katerina would know about certain tenets and certain cults or orders of Shalia.
Yeah, I think what he's more asking is, like, who... He's intimating how far do you think that she would extend her mercy as far as people are concerned. He says, for instance...
So I don't know what is your interpretation of... So I know that there are orders of Shalia that don't, like, kill the mutant, right? That they not necessarily harbor them. I know that, but would Katerina know that? And would the general
and I think
Shalian
that you would
grace extend to that?
Yeah, I think it is free for you to make your own determination for how she feels.
Something. Yeah, I can say something. She says, the mercy of Shalia extends to a person is not judged by their birth. A person is judged by their actions. Because that's generally innocuous.
Yeah.
Right.
And he says, and what think of you of those unfortunates who attacked or who ambushed the caravan?
Shalia is one. Unfortunately, they attacked us, and Shalia is about defense, but they were probably hungry bandits, just like any other bandit that would want to do this.
And your mercy, Shalia's mercy, would not extend to such individuals.
She said would not extend.
He says would not. Do you think it would not?
No, it does extend.
Oh.
Again, any bandit would have attacked us. Well, then we defend, right?
So he nods.
It matters not if they were mutant or human or, well, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say goblin, but or greenskin, should say. But
yeah, he. The Church of Sigmar is not so forgiving.
So I've heard. But rest assured, there are no witch hunters that I know of in the Church of Shalia.
You, in many ways, remind me of Lady Dorothy, Katerina.
Oh, okay. Wait. No, stop there. I'm not by any means near Lady Dorothy's quality, but I appreciate the compliment, sir. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't. Unless you guys have any other questions for him, I'm fine.
Greta, what's his feelings towards Greta being with the caravan?
With her, I am not. I'm not sure I have a feeling one way or the other. He's lying. You need not make a roll for that. He's obviously lying.
Was it your family that invited her along? It seems the other family did not.
I would not say that. I would not say that she was invited along. He looks at Katerina. Have you learned what she is?
Oh, yes, but again, no judgment. People
He
need
looks
to make a living.
perplexed. And he
She
says,
hasn't done it. I mean, wait. We understand that she is. I guess Katerina would say can't follow her, right? Not going to say.
I think Alwyn would step in and just say, she's a gold digger.
he looks back and forth. Surely you realize she is an assassin. What did you find? See what your acolyte of Sigmar found. And see what she says of what was in there.
What makes you think she's an assassin?
He looks at you and he says, one knows who comes, or one should know who comes into one's household. Master Dwarf.
Why
mean,
would
I
she?
could-
Yeah, why would she be allowed into this group? Why would anyone socialize with such a person willingly?
I see you have not spent time amongst our station. The grudge between the families, you should understand, runs very deep. It is no small task that for us to set aside so long. To bring one along as a tool, I would guess, might be necessary. I did not invite her into our home, but I know what she is.
I could understand you not liking her, but assassin seems very specific. Is there some reason you think she's a killer?
Are you thick, dwarf?
Well, and he gets this very practical look on his face. Like, I mean, sometimes, but anyway, that's besides the point.
I think not.
Who do you think she's killed before? If you have any idea.
He just holds stare with you and looks at you, Katerina. She is an assassin.
You believe your brother is in danger?
I do not.
Then?
But
So does she work for your brother or for the Durin box?
he closes his mouth and gives you a look of like, you surely understand I can't. He couldn't incriminate his brother.
Yeah. It's worth a shot.
Speak to her. Show her what was in there. I could tell you that none in the Kreutzfelds had anything to do. None of the Kreutzfelds had anything to do with Erasmus Hager's murder.
I think we're done. I thank you for your time, Sir Kreuzfeld.
I thank you for your attention to this matter, lady. Your patience, and he looks at the dwarf, is boundless.
I treat our conversation also as a confession, which is sacred and private.
I thank you. You are a credit to your faith.
I hope so. You'll sponsor me in the trap when I get my trap. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I hope therefore you will sponsor my.
We actually have a bake sale coming up, so if you guys could donate.
Yeah, donate to the church.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It says we should bring Greta over then.
Well, you guys can discuss amongst yourself if you'd like.
I mean, so it definitely seems that they're trying to incriminate the Kirschfelds, both with the note to Arnett. And potentially plant. I bet you we're not going to find anything in the.
Yeah, hiding a weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to find anything in that chest. I mean, I think it's probably satisfied that whatever was in there is gone and moved.
You don't think we'll find anything in the chest? I don't think it'd be as obvious. But
I think we should look when we get a chance. Why not?
I mean,
well, the Raymer suggested that we try to sneak a look as opposed to him.
No, Raymer suggested that you find justification to find a look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll call over Greta because but I don't think I mean, my suspicion is that these things might have been hidden in the chest, but then they got moved to the Kreutzfelds.
Sure.
Yeah, potentially. So we're saying Greta is the most likely person to have taken.
We'll just talk to her and say you've been accused. What was your last confession? I mean, just.
Do you wish to collect the?
Yeah. We'll get those back.
Yeah.
How do we pin it on her? Other than everyone seems to think that she's an assassin, how do we actually?
We'll just tell her you're the scapegoat. So tell us who hired you. I mean, I think someone implied that they wouldn't. It definitely. The nobles are behind it. It's not like she acted alone. She was hired.
Oh no! Yeah. She's.
So tell us who hired you.
Money.
Yeah. Tell us who hired you. You're gonna hang if you go to your grave with that secret. That's fine, but I don't know if we can dispense. We can't give her immunity or anything like that. No such thing.
It's just we haven't spoken to 3 of them still. I'm just wondering, would we learn anything else that would give us?
I don't know. I mean, maybe that. The other suspicion I have, we've heard that Frederick and Brigida have delved into chaos, so they could be colluding and working together. I mean,
well, they're the 2 that don't want it to work,
right? So that's possible too.
The family,
but again, Greta could be a way to get to Frederick, right? So since she's been in the house, she probably knows if she's a competent assassin, she would know about these secret. She would have explored and know about all these secret places and compartments. She has access. Now it's just who hired her.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it was Frederick, only because that'd be cutting off her income if she,
Oh, woman's wiles.
Yeah, but
men are stupid.
Yeah.
Katarina probably say that. My sisters tell me men are stupid.
Yeah. Summer. Is she going to confess it?
Probably not. Maybe she will. I don't know.
Because there's nothing to tie her to the murder weapon, is there?
No.
Oh, red ribbon. the ribbon and stuff.
Yeah, but can we actually prove if we had to now say she's done it? We've got nothing
We could have-
to sort of prove that specifically.
Right.
Yeah, we could tell her we think you did it. We'll I guess string her up, and the priest of Moore will find out. But when they talk to the dead body. But
Well, I'm just wondering if we could try and find out who did pay or get any.
well, that's why we talked to her to see if she will. If she thinks she'll be given mercy, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I doubt it, but
I don't think she's. Well, perhaps she will. Perhaps she will
It
tell
was
us.
a little interesting, I thought, how quick Jakob was to point her out as an assassin, given her connection with his brother.
I mean, that was my first thought, that she was a assassin, and probably everyone else's. But
Because it implicates his brother a bit. I mean, I realize he insists his brother's innocence, but the connection is a bit obvious. If his brother brought her here, and she killed, and he was
perhaps
quick to point that out.
perhaps he thinks by giving us that information, it's more likely that we're believing that he's not guilty, his brother, because otherwise he wouldn't.
trying to get ahead of
she
it.
hates him.
Yeah, he's
This
trying to get
woman-
ahead of it. Yeah.
The woman hates him. Al, when you discovered that
Yeah.
hates Frederick, so she doesn't like her situation with him.
No.
She probably finds him despicable. So I
But I
can't
mean,
see him. I can't see him hiring her then.
A woman killing someone because she's bitter is one thing, an assassin is another. I mean, someone that stabs a man in the back with her hair knife is not the same as an assassin that uses a blow dart.
But it does ring true that someone that's got a dagger strapped to their leg is more likely to be someone that's a
Indeed.
bit more military or combat proficient and set up. So that bit could be true. Well, if you want to challenge her,
I think Katerina will raise an eyebrow because she's pretty good in a fight.
yeah, but you don't keep it secret. You don't hide
Yeah, you
your
wear it-
weapons.
You want to confess to a dagger strapped to your thigh, Katerina?
I would never use a weapon that cuts a person. She's more about subduing, brawling.
So what angle?
I'll just bring her
should
over
we
and we'll get those things back from Brother Raymer and ask him what does your herbalist think?
And who accuses Greta? So it's Jakob, and who else?
Evard kind of did.
Yeah, Everett said he recognized her but couldn't
They
place the
recognize
face.
her.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. There's something that's something we have not nailed
And
down.
he didn't
yet.
necessarily say, "Oh, she's a prostitute."
We didn't nail
I
down.
know her
Everett
from
seen it
somewhere.
before.
Yeah, but he couldn't remember.
A loose yarn, as they say.
Well, it seems like they're also
Thread.
trying to pin it. Someone is also trying to, pin it on, other people.
Well, yeah, I mean, all the evidence is pointing to the Gretzfelds. The
other
weapons found on there. Yeah, the letter for the mercenary guy. That it does seem like it's all pointing towards them, which in this situation seems to think it's probably more likely to be the other family,
So
just because of the way they've been acting.
What I'll give you as well, just to consider before you decide who to approach, is when you go to collect the materials from Brother Raymar, what you find is that their herbalist has been able to identify the toxin, and curiously, it's actually a fairly common toxin. It is called Henbell. Henbell. And it is used to cause slumber and sometimes in extreme doses coma. But it's the kind of thing that we'd use in like knockout darts. It's not lethal. Katarina, I think it's common enough you would be aware of it as a sedative that you might use in some things like, oh yeah, no, that.
Do we need to check the corpse for the reason he died then?
Katarina is certain he was poisoned by a lethal poison. It was not a allergic reaction to Henbell. It was not that he was asleep and this whole time or anything like that. It was some other substance that was used. And if you look at the vial itself,
it hasn't been opened or anything.
It's full. Really. Yeah, like it's effectively full.
So maybe it is worth checking out the Dernbach chest now. Maybe he was satisfied that if it's an expensive lethal poison.
What's the justification for opening it then?
Yeah, I don't know yet.
You wouldn't expect an assassin, so-called, to be carrying knockout. A knockout versus fatal poison.
Yeah, do we still have the corpse?
Yeah.
Can we just be thorough and check the pins that it's like the right type of weapon?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, if you compare, the puncture wounds are, I think you rolled quite well when you did your inspection too, so like you would know that you are certainly confident the missing dart is likely the thing that administered do I remember there's 11 darts that are tied up to the bottom of the pillow and then one loose ribbon where a 12th one presumably was tied.
Mm-hmm. And how about the presentation of this murder weapon, this box and the ribbons and that seems very peculiar to me. It seems very seems like a gift more than a
think of the era. Like there are only limited ways. These wagons going through the back roads of the old world are going to be jostled and banged around, and you've got stevedores who are knocking shit around. So whenever you're packing, if it's delicate, you need to be careful with how it is presented. In some cases, that's straw or other kind of things. If you happen to be of means, securing it in a pillow-filled, thing, and then also secured in place with ribbons that would not damage it by it being knocked around. This is how you would transport like mirrors or other kind of valuable artifacts or valuable things.
All right.
Yeah, so it's not, you're right, there's definitely a lot of care and flourish put into this thing, and in a very, very sinister way, it could very well be a present from one to another, but it's also how you would transport this kind of delicate murder weapon.
Yeah, a master takes care of their tools, right?
Most definitely. This is the kind of thing that would require a great deal of precision, too. Like, you need these things to work precisely the way you intend them to work, though, when you are needing to employ them.
Mm-hmm. I say we talk to Greta and read her Miranda rights.
Well, yeah, give it a go.
I can ask Raymer what he thinks. I said we do have it on the word of a nobleman that this woman is an assassin.
And you think to confront her?
Yes, I mean.
Are you confident she is the killer then?
Likely she is the killer, but probably not like on her own initiative. Undoubtedly, someone has hired her to do this, and that person is probably here.
And he shoots a look over at her, and she seems to be listening or watching quite closely or trying to be inconspicuous about it, but she is talking to Matthias, who is idly playing a song, and he says, very well. Is she dangerous then?
Probably. We have Thognot here, though.
Yes. I hear you equipped yourself quite admirably against the mutants.
They
What
were
did she
soft.
also do? She's the one who also said that Jacob was a mutant too. So another bit of like deflection to.
So,
I wonder if she. Yes, that's a good point, Katharina, because she may. She's obviously going to be aware of Jacob's ill attitude towards her. So for her to cast aspersions or suspicions even on Jakob would make sense in that context.
I mean, I guess the question is about the other mutants, right? Like you thought initially that they were given a speech to talk about. So,
yeah, their initial spiel, you still remember, sounded rehearsed or sounded coached.
But he also seems he may have lied about other things, but did he seem sincere about the peace and caring for Dorothy?
You talking about Frederick?
Well, I mean,
No,
Jacob does
yeah.
have a motive. Jacob would have a motive, though, because priest of Sigmar, if Erasmus knew he was a mutant, then, it'd be like, all bets are off.
Yeah.
And call in the witch hunter. I mean, at least what Shali would, or Katarina would think. Call in the witch hunters.
That's
burn them at the stake.
absolutely accurate assessment.
Yeah. So
There
he
is
would
some
have motive.
there could be some doctrinal laxity among some things, but like that is one thing on which Sigmar does not compromise, regardless of how mild an approach. Sigmar is the hammer, and they are the ones who field the witch hunters. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if Jacob is indeed a mutant, the Church of Sigmar would have absolutely no pity on him.
So I'm sure if we think about it, everyone would have a motive. Right?
So then,
But
would
why
you like
would
to...
it seems like Arnd is very loyal, so why would the Crushfelds want to pin something on him, though? Unless they're that shitty. I don't know. Right. He seems like a very loyal, good person. Wasn't going to sell him out.
So I guess we don't really have.
But I was going to say, isn't it suspicious that the what's his name, Ruprecht?
Ruprecht Durnbach?
Yeah, he knew about the blackmail, even to the point that maybe he was involved in it to set up Aaron, and so that's maybe the tie-in with that.
Yeah.
So maybe he's also employed Greta or involved with it.
And all these nobles. If Frederick would probably agree with us. Family first, right? They're all gonna stick together. So even if Dorothy knows, unless she can, tells me in a confident confession, she would. Not gonna tell like a group of us.
Yeah.
I wish we had a little better angle on Greta, but
I wish we could dust her fingerprints.
I can't think of her. Since, as we've already discussed, we can't actually tie her to the.
I'm shocked that she hasn't fled, honestly. But
don't know if she'd make it far. There's too many of us. Maybe.
I'm fairly sure that everyone's been watching to the point that no one's going to get away at this juncture.
There's also, forests filled with mutants right now.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, and potential and greenskin, right? There's greenskin.
Out of the frying pan into the fire, hurl yourself into the forest.
Yeah, you got to be pretty desperate to be running through the woods in the old world. So,
yeah, and even if she is an assassin, that's not the same as a warrior.
Right.
Yeah. So,
we'll call her over.
Okay.
I'll let you guys question her first, and
so she comes. Once again, you guys join her separate from the caravan, and says, "And how have your investigations proceeded? Exonerated my Freddy, I take it."
Oh no, a lot of things are pointing towards him.
Indeed. Well, surprises abound everywhere.
So, but you do stand accused
Me?
of being an assassin.
She cocks her head. Really? And who says that?
Who do you think? If you had to guess.
Are we to trade questions? Who do you think, dwarf?
We would trade questions if you were also running the investigation, which you're not. So who do you think?
Aren't I?
So really,
No.
we could. I mean, you're in a very precarious position, as you noted before, Greta. You could be accused, and I'm just to say Greta. I'm not going to say Miss Rosenow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know how this goes. There are noble people here. They want to get moving. They need a scapegoat. So it'd be.
She looks at her eyes kind of go down to the box.
It would benefit you more to confess and perhaps tell us who hired you.
So her eyes go down to the box and she says, have you looked in there?
Oh, yeah.
And do you know what's in there?
Yes. Do you know what's in there?
Well, certainly.
We're trading questions.
It's mine.
Yes. So you confess.
That I am a killer? Most certainly.
That the weapons used to kill Erasmus Hagar are yours.
And she gestures at the box. Mai Tai. Or, if you do not trust me, dwarf, and you would be safer, open the box for me.
No, you do it.
So she takes it, opens it up, turns it over. I suspected as much. One missing. But, and she gestures, like turns the pillow. Do you know what this is?
Maybe. What is it?
How do you know we don't have the other vial that is half empty?
There was no other vial in here.
Where is the other vial?
There is no other vial.
Is she lying?
She turns it around. Do you see any place for another vial?
Not
I'm
in
a
this box.
killer. But poison? Too uncertain. There are times when all it will do is the equivalent of eating a pheasant gone foul. And in my business, you are paid for results, not for causing discomfort.
So then, if not you, who? If you're the assassin, who?
I do not know.
Who is the incompetent assassin?
And she says,
And why would they?
she looks in
try to
your
accuse
eyes, Katerina, and says, and who was it who accuses me? And her eyes go over quite conspicuously to Jakob.
I mean, she knows who did because she was watching us talk to them. And you're the only one that's been called back twice, right? So she's the only one that's been called back.
Yep. Errant as well.
Yeah.
What did you intend to do with bringing this weapon? What were you going to do with it?
Well, this, dwarf, you will appreciate. Poison is a useful tool, but steel is for certainty.
So what's your preferred method? What would you have done?
If my employer had hired me to kill, say, a member of the Durenbachs at their command, this induces slumber, and it's so much easier to deal with individuals who wish to cling to life.
So then why kill Hagar?
I didn't kill Hagar.
Well, why would an assassin kill Hagar?
I do not know. I was not paid to do that. And while I am a killer, I am a professional.
Do you think this is a crap job here?
I think someone, most certainly, and she turns over the pillow and shows the missing dart. Someone most certainly misappropriated my tools, but used something of their own invention for their own aims.
So who would have access to this then? I tell her where we found it. We found it in the
I saw
secret
you.
compartment.
Indeed, but it has been there for some time. Any of the Kreutzfelds or any who are close to them could have access to it.
So your story is that you're an assassin, but someone else used your weapon to kill the priest. That's not great for you.
She says, I will show you. If you need a demonstration of the efficacy of Henbel, I'll drink this. And when I awake, you can congratulate me on my innocence.
I don't know if that's going to get you off this, considering it's your weapon and he was killed with it. Maybe not the potion inside, but
I mean, you know, circumstantial works in this world, especially for us, and you know
that I will certainly speak to who hired me. And her eyes go to Jakob and back, and what the purpose was.
Then why would he accuse you then?
That, my dear Katerina, is a very good question.
We know you're not fond of your lover, but is Jakob that? I mean, I could see a motive.
Jakob is a mutant.
Because of what you told us.
And he is weak.
How did you find that out?
I walked in on him while changing. He has scales like a lizard's on his left shoulder. Though that is the sort of thing that you might think a lover might notice, no?
Oh, I'm sure Dorothea knows as well.
So, what was your plan?
Yeah, we are not Sigmarites, or those who worship the wolf.
Did she already tell me, Kevin, I can't remember if she said what she was going to do with the blow dart. I asked again if she didn't. I said, what exactly were you going to do with this? I mean, so you didn't do it, okay, but what were you going to do?
I could demonstrate if you like, Sir Dwarf.
I'd rather you just tell me, if you don't mind.
The handbell places a target asleep into a deep slumber. And at that time...
But who?
It is a simple matter.
Who?
Who my master directs to be dead.
And who is that?
Do you not understand how this works, Dwarf? Should I speak more slowly for you?
No, just plainly. What's the name? Who?
So, Katerina and Alwyn, what do you think her position is right now in revealing who her employer is?
She's not going to.
Jacob's the one she keeps looking at.
Who's the target? So I'm asking who the target is.
It's Frederick, the older brother?
Frederick is the younger brother, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jakob is the leader of the Kreuzfeld family. The rumor you heard, I think, about the displacement was that Brigitte has displaced Ruprecht.
Oh, okay.
If I remember. Let me double check it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Do you think Jakob is her?
Yeah.
So then who would Jakob want to have? Well, that's
what I'm asking her.
Yeah, I mean, so here's if Jakob knew that if Jakob thought that Hagar thought he was a mutant, she would have her kill him. See?
Or
the logic and motive is there, right?
Logic holds, Lady Katerina. But the fact remains, I did not kill him.
Who did you plan on killing?
If I was told, one of the Durenbachs, but only at my master's command.
On standby.
And then he threw...
If I was to guess, this was not Jakob's idea. And Friedrich is too much of a fool to come up with such a thing. If I were to guess, it was the old man. Jakob's father insisted on this as a contingency. If more vocal members of the Duran Box were to react poorly to what he had planned, he and Lady Dorothy, then I was to work my craft on one of the Duran Box.
So I would say that then if your theory, well, if your plan let's follow your theory. So then someone found out about it and wants to frame you.
Almost certainly someone must have known, at the least, of the location of my tools.
So did your employer betray you then?
Of the Kreutzfelds, Jakob is weak. Friedrich is a fool. Arendt is too sad. But there was one other here, close enough to the Kreutzfelds to have been in their trust. Her eyes go over to the Durenbach.
Yeah, to Dorothy. I could see that pillow talking on.
And
but if you say Jakob is weak, not that nobles do anything like that.
From what I've seen, Lady Dorothy was held in a place of trust by Lord Jacob. Such trust could be abused and gain access. And if the rumors that Netson tells me are true, it would not be the first time that Lady Dorothy, has dealt with an obstacle in a final manner.
Oh, Netson. Okay.
Yeah, Matthias.
Mm-hmm.
Did not her first betrothed take ill very suddenly?
Would you agree that this weapon of yours takes a fair amount of skill to use competently in a stressful situation?
There are certain tools of mine that certainly require more exacting, but this delicate art, White Dwarf, I think I might even be able to teach you to use it. One need only point and puff. Are you certain you would not like a demonstration, Sir Dwarf? You seem most curious.
I ignore it. You think you've been framed then, obviously. Why use your tool?
Almost certainly. And I do not know why. I am an easy. Who would believe an assassin innocent, eh?
Well, that's the truth.
Indeed. But the fact remains.
Well,
I did not
perhaps
kill
you could
him.
help us find the poison. Then.
If I were in such a position, once that vial is used, it would have been disposed of. Have you found the dart, even?
I'm sure it was trampled underfoot during the combat.
And if I were doing such a work and was so irresponsible as to rely on poison, I'm certain you would never find my vial either. And in any event, I was with you when the murder occurred. At the back of the caravan.
You're hanging out with the children.
No, I was Lady Dorothy.
Dorothy.
That was Lady Dorothy.
I know. You saw? No, I was just seeing if she saw the children too.
Oh, children. She says, I was with Netson. Though I suppose one could think of him as a child.
Well, it probably is. These nobles are going to get restless soon enough.
Indeed.
So,
I don't envy your position.
I wouldn't.
As precarious as I might be, you now find yourself having to pick one of two feuding families to blame for the murder of the Electra Count's representative.
Well, how much henbell do we think we have to have?
How much?
I mean, how many people could you knock out with this?
With what she's got there, there's probably enough for all 12. If there were to the 12 darts still in there, probably enough for that.
Okay. I say to her, you wouldn't be us.
We have a contingency.
Right
we have a contingency if we all get blamed.
He says, "Well then, I wish you luck in your further investigations, and I hope that we do not share a scaffold."
I guess what's going for you is that you haven't tried to run away. Granted, there are mutants and greenskins in the forest, but someone with your
I could see someone
skills could
most definitely
sneak away, disappear.
There is someone here who is trying to place this noose around my neck. The only thing I would do by running is tighten it.
Well, I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, everyone has a motive.
But only one was the murderer.
Yes.
I will...
Is it possible to get a read on her at all, Kevin, with all of our conversation, just to see if we think she's being...
As far as you can tell, she is telling the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Kevin's like rolling for us secretly. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then,
which I thought was a great mechanic in like old Mega Traveler and 23 AD. The some truth, total truth.
Yeah. It's a great look at the express calling out secret rolls in PF2 is the thing that really got me like, okay, I'm gonna take advantage of this thing, because there are times where not knowing what the consequence is it really adds to the for certain kinds of encounters, certain kinds of adventures. There are times where you want to be able to access your narrative meta currency to affect that stuff, but I try to make sure that when that would matter and where you really want to buy a success, that it's transparent where you're making those rolls. But awesome. Well, this guy's unfortunately will leave you with a choice of two potential murderers. One with a clear motive, one without. Something to consider over the next 2 weeks. Because we do have one more session of this before the holidays.
Oh, okay.
So,
we do. Okay.
Yep. One more session left before the holidays. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session 6 of our ongoing campaign, Salt, Silver, and Sin. And as, whoopsies, come on, you work with me? There we go. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There is also a link down below to in the description of the video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to Warhammer games in general, to most other campaigns and games we run on the channel, as well as a ton of other channels that finding a group, GM discussion, video game discussion, tons of great people over there. There's a really great community that's built up over the years, and you are more than welcome to join us over there. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have a great selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. If you make, they have something listed in stock that, or listed on their catalog that is not in stock, you can put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in. They restock fairly frequently, and when things are in high demand, they will give specific bonuses or benefit bonuses. Still thinking in RPG terms, they will give incentives and often pay extra for certain games. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code FALLMUSER, all caps, all one word, and you will save yourself 10% in your purchase. If you're listening to this after January 15th, 2024, come back to one of our more recent videos at the time or whenever you're listening to this, and you will find whatever our more recent discount code is. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages, which is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really incredible organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including a bunch of ongoing relief efforts at present in a bunch of troubled areas of the world. All donations that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it comes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from the services. And it's a very small way of saying thank you. Over the past year, we have been running a year-long charity campaign called the Year of Ill Omens. This has been the first 5 parts have taken us all across space and time on planet Earth, from the dawn of the Roman Empire to the age of Vikings to the Spanish Main in the age of piracy to 70s Berlin, Cold War era Berlin to 19th century China. And today, in a couple of hours, we'll be wrapping up that year-long campaign with a final session set in the 1980s using the classic D20 modern rule set, with our heroes playing a bunch of unlicensed paranormal investigators. All of these sessions have been shaped by the donors by selecting what era, what specific setting, what characters we're playing, and what game we're playing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this one wrap up with our first Year of Ill Omens. We'll have more information about what we'll be doing next year and over the holidays soon. But for now, a huge thank you to everyone who has donated over the past year and made this campaign such a joy to run, and the fundraising such a success. Speaking of heroes, the last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart, grim and perilous heroes. So, Sean, Carl, and Darren, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. This was an enormous amount of fun. I can't wait to tell you guys about the last time I ran this adventure with people too, to how it came out, because I'm seeing parallels and I'm seeing differences, and I love it.
Yeah, it's always interesting. Yeah.
Oh, it's such I fucking love this. This is easily one of my favorite adventures to run. It's up there with The Haunting for Call of Cthulhu, which is like never a bad time. Then for those listening at home, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time to continue the investigation into the murder of this seemingly sketchy Sigmarite priest. But until then,
I know, that's crazy.
We hope we gave you a couple of hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think of the troubles that our heroes are uncovering on this roadside murder investigation. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.